So I really wish the title of this video were clickbait, but it's not. And videos like these tend to bring in some new people, so if you're only here because you like train wrecks or or any other type of wrecks, go ahead and scroll through to this number right here. For the rest of you, we're going to continue on as planned. We're going to have a vlog today. It's going to be a little bit different style though. I just got showered up. I'm here in La Grande, Oregon, and I just took a shower. Let me tell you how excited I was when I walked into the shower room and saw this. I tried not to eat it. I really wanted to share it with you guys, but my sweet tooth had other plans and it said, no sir. So, but you're passing through La Grande, Oregon, the Flying J here. They'll leave you a York peppermint patty. Hello again. For me, it's been a couple seconds. For you, it's been a few minutes. You saw what I did this morning, but before that was just a second ago. And anyway, what we're gonna do, we're headed over to, I don't know, we're going to Salt Lake. That's where we're headed. I don't really know where we're gonna stop. It looks like there's a few mom and pops in Idaho that are kind of a perfect stopping point, and I like to stop at the mom and pops, so I think that's where we're headed to right now. If you want to see that load earlier, let's go ahead and show that screen footage, Mr. Editor, sir. That would be me. Kind of a weird day. I don't know. Weird frame of mind, but we're doing pretty good here. We've got, that's the load of spools. I mean, nothing special. What was interesting, I was talking to, there's 4 trucks that were all there, and we were all talking. We were talking about how we had spoken to the broker, and one guy said it was one truck was told it was between like 30 and 40,000 pounds. We were told it was 42,000 pounds. Another truck was told it was between like 40 and 44,000 pounds, and the other truck was told it was between 42 and 46. So go figure. I've got about 17, maybe 18 back there. But whatever. Hey, I'm happy with it. I'm certainly not going to complain when it goes the other way. Great day, nice and easy day. Good load, good paying load. Headed over to Salt Lake City. So we should probably do that. So, the part you've been waiting for. Yeah, this happened shortly after I kind of started the hiatus. That day just crushed me. For all of you that don't know, I just bought this trailer and spent, a decent amount of money on it. One of the larger purchases that I've made in my life. So to me, it was a really big deal. And, it's inevitable that it's going to get scratches and, all that good stuff. It's going to get dirty and, whatever. But, what happened, the way that it happened, well, let me describe to you. Let me tell you the story of how it happened. So there I was, just putting along, minding my own business. And we were on a 3-lane highway, and I was in the far right lane, and I was being passed by another flatbed. And, you know, I'm just cruising along, and he gets past me, and I'm not paying too close attention. You know, sometimes I'm looking at, you know, the other trucks and, you know, what's going on with them, what they're doing. But for whatever reason, I was, you know, kind of off in a daze, because I don't even remember what truck it was. But I know it was a flatbed, and I noticed that when his trailer got about halfway past mine, that he started to kind of drift. Now, the drifting, that's really not that big of a deal. It happens pretty much on a daily basis. If you're a truck driver, you know what I'm talking about. You're getting drifted over upon daily. So this wasn't really that big of a deal, and he started to drift, and I just kind of thought, okay, but he's got my attention now. And all of a sudden, that slow drift turned into, you know, it was almost like a jerking motion that he started coming over onto me. And at this point now I'm like, oh, wow. So I do my best to get over, but now I'm on the shoulder. And I mean, thankfully that, you know, there was a big enough shoulder that I could be there. Well, I get over there and I lay on the horn, and he comes to the realization that he has drifted dramatically. So he starts, he gets back over, but by this point, now I'm headed directly towards a guardrail. And I had to absolutely whip it to the left. And I've never jerked that hard, especially at that speed. And it was absolutely terrifying. Not that I was going to wreck the truck, not that I was going to wreck the trailer, not that I was going to lose the load, that I was going to lose my life. When you whip the trailer, when you whip anything that hard, we're heavy. When we go down hard. And if you're not a truck driver, truck drivers get very, very injured in the accidents. It's pretty rare that a truck driver just kind of walks away. Now I'm talking about a rollover. I'm not talking about one that's, kept upright. But the way that all of this kind of went down, I thought I was rolling over and not being dramatic. Anyway, whipped it back over, and the truck made it out of the way, but that whipping motion kind of sent the trailer out, and the trailer caught the guardrail. And, I remember right after hitting it, I remember not hearing anything. I just kind of, I don't know what happened. My hearing kind of went out, and I had the wherewithal, for whatever reason, after I understood that I was not going to roll over. I looked in side view mirror, and I saw the load. I had tall stacks of, it had something to do with plumbing, but it was tall stacks of plastic. And there were multiple. You'll see it here in a minute. I do have the video, and they were just shifting back and forth. And I mean, it was bad. It was so bad. At that point, then I started to be concerned that I was going to lose the load. So I pulled over to the shoulder immediately. The guy never stopped. He just kept going. And I got out to assess the damage. Now, I did take footage of that, but I was, I was in such a daze that I used my phone. I should have used, the GoPro or the Canon, but I didn't. But anyway, here's that footage, and, kind of take note, really, the majority of the damage is along the rub rail. You'll obviously see the mud flap, and the damage on the very rear of the trailer. I'm thankful that it didn't take off, the light that I have back there. And then, stick around, because I go around to the other side. When I go around to the other side, you'll actually be able to see the load, and you'll be able to see two of the straps that were cut off completely, which, by the way, the stacks that those two straps were on, that was the only securement on those stacks. So I have no idea how I didn't lose that load. Had to have been divine had to have been divine intervention. But anyway, here's that clip. So the moral of the story is, I mean, I'm assuming there has to be, I mean, obviously the driver was distracted. You know, something was going on that way, you know, he wasn't paying attention. Now the best of us, we can be looking straight ahead and you know, we can drift over a little bit in our lanes. That's, you know, that's not out of the ordinary, but to drift that far, and then he, you know, then to jerk over, obviously he was distracted, and I'm assuming that he was on his phone. As you know, one day I'd made a game of it, and this was back whenever I was a company driver, and I counted how many cars, now this wasn't trucks, this was cars, were on their phone and driving. And I counted 100 cars, and 82 people were on their phone. 82. Let that sink in. So, you know, all I'm asking, I'm not griping, not complaining. It's kind of the world that we live in at the moment. But, and you know, really that could have turned out way worse for me. You know, beyond the guardrail, it was kind of a steep drop off, or well, wasn't too steep, but it was steep enough where the momentum would have carried me all the way down to the line of trees that was down there, and could have been pretty ugly. So, you know, thankfully it wasn't any worse than that. The damage that's back there was extremely minor. You know, didn't catch the tires, so, you know, all in all, that was best case scenario. I did not file an insurance claim on that because I already kind of knew at the time that I was making some kind of change. I didn't know exactly what kind of change that I was making. I didn't know exactly where I was going yet, but I knew that some kind of change was coming in the very near future, and I didn't want to have, you know, an accident or an insurance claim that would jack up my rates. So I actually took that mud flap off, and you know, the rest of it, the winch that's underneath, that's right there, there's a winch that's right there. I can't take it off because I'd have to take the daggum trailer apart, and not gonna do that. So that winch is pretty much dead. But no, you know, not a big deal. There's another winch on exactly the opposite side of the trailer, so that's fine. But that winch is shot, and my poor rub rail. At some point, I'm going to have to, you know, get a quote on that and see what I can do. I mean, just kind of is what it is. I mean, if you guys know any good trailer shops out there that want to, you know, give me a quote on it, hey, let them know. Let them know to hit me up, and my email's driventrucking@yahoo.com. So, anyway, enough rambling for today. Thank you guys so much. If you liked it, please hit that button. and subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, stay driven.